we live in an interesting time, in this world today. We live in a really interesting time, right? And it's funny because I was listening to something recently, right? Something that Eric Thomas said. He was saying that you can't just be good anymore, right? You can't just be good anymore, right? So when I heard that, I was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? That is, that's true. There was a time when you could be good and get stuff done, you know what I'm saying? And, make things happen. Then he went on to say you can't be great anymore. So he took it a step up from being good to you can't be great anymore. So I was like, wow, that's hidden, you know what I'm saying? So he went from, you can't be good anymore, you can't be great anymore, you have to be phenomenal, right? And of course he tied that in with you can't give 90% anymore. You know what I'm saying? We live in a time where it has to be 110%. But the point of my observation is the fact that we live in a world today, right, where because of technology and because of, as I mentioned earlier, phones and the internet and, all these social media outlets and all these different things, you throw a few other things in there, right? It seems like every area of industry, every area of entertainment, every area of study, every area of life, every area of business is saturated, right? We're living in a time where, it's easy for anyone to start something, to start a business, right? To, just start something and get it out there, right? And get hundreds of people to see it, get thousands of people to see it, right? And millions, right? For that matter, right? So we're living in a time where, we can access information like at the click of a finger, right? We have instant access to any type of information that we desire to look at, whatever we want to research, whatever we want to review, whatever it is, we can instantly get access to that information, right? And all of that is good, right? Of course, we have to evolve as a civilization, as a people, right? And evolving on this planet isn't new. We have been evolving for thousands of years, right? So, but fast forwarding to the times we live in now, right? Because of, and I'm repeating myself here, but I really want to get this point over. Because of the times that we live in order to accomplish anything nowadays, you have to be phenomenal. Like, you have to be. Like, in order to stand out from the crowd. Because, as I mentioned, every field right now is saturated. So anything that you embark on, anything that you attempt to do right now, you're going to have a lot of competition, right? And it's going to be saturated. I'm talking about anything that you decide to do. And the only way to, or the only tool in your toolbox, or the only weapon in your artillery is to be phenomenal, right? Like, you have to stand out. We live in a time where whatever it is you're doing, you have to stand out. Like, you have to be creative. You have to find a way to stand out from the crowd, right? You have to find a way to be the 1%, right? In whatever you are doing. It doesn't matter what it is, business, right? It doesn't matter what type of business. You look at different business models, whether it's online marketing, right? Whether it's fitness, right? Whether it's food, whether it's entertainment, music, whatever it is, at this time right here that we live in, every field is saturated, right? And you're gonna have to be creative in order to stand out and really make an impact. Another thing that happens when things are so crowded, right, and so saturated is it's easy to get lost in the crowd, right? It's easy to get lost, especially if you don't have anything that is attractive about what you're doing, right? It's like birds, right? Like if you see a bunch of birds, a bunch of brown and black birds, right, flying around, and there's one red bird or one bright green bird in that crowd of birds, you're gonna notice the red bird, you're gonna notice the green bird, right? Because they are bright, right? They're contrasting against their colorless background, right? And this is kind of what has to happen with you in today's world, with whatever you're doing. You have to find a way to be colorful. You have to find a way to stand out, right? And the only way that can happen is by being creative, right, with whatever you're doing and becoming the best in that field, right? You have to become the best. You have to be phenomenal, right? Whatever you do, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, I don't care what it is, you have to find a way to become the best at it. One of the best, the best, same thing, right? And I like what Grant Cardone said too as well. Grant said that we are no longer competing. The days of competing are past and gone, right? The days of competing used to be 2001, 2002, 2003, 2007, right? Those were the times when you could compete and win and accomplish your goals. In order for you to accomplish your goals today, you have to dominate in your field. So it's no longer just competing, right? The people who are at the bottom of the barrel are the ones competing, right? In order for you to find your way at the top of that barrel where you can climb out, at the top of that mountain, you have to dominate in your field, right? And what does it take to dominate, right? So now we presented the problem, right? We know what the problem is. What's the solution? What's the solution to dominating? What's the solution to becoming phenomenal, right? And not just being satisfied with being good or being great, right? The solution is to become obsessed with whatever you do and respect whatever you do and to love it enough and desire it enough to put the extra work in that it's going to take to become phenomenal in whatever field of work, whatever whatever it is you're doing, right? In order to become great, then in order to become good, great, then phenomenal, you have to put in the work, right? And it's gonna take a lot of work, right? Because the thing is, as Arnold Schwarzenegger said, right? While you were partying and horsing around and doing all that, there was someone working around the clock, doing the same thing you're doing, right? In order to become phenomenal, right? So every time you feel like not putting in the extra work, not waking up early, not going the extra mile, those days you wake up and you don't feel like doing it and all that type of stuff, put it in the mental Rolodex in your mind that there is someone out there doing the same thing you're doing, who got up and who are working overtime and getting it done, right? You have to think about that. And you have to get over procrastinating and your feelings, not feeling like doing it, it's just a feeling, right? You have to fight yourself. My suggestion is focus on becoming better at whatever you do, right? Focus on becoming better. Find ways to become better, right? Focus on becoming one of the best at whatever you do, right? You're gonna have to make small changes, right? You're gonna have to make small changes in order to move towards whatever your goal is, right? And it doesn't have to be, big, extravagant changes, right? What usually happens when people try to make changes in their life and they try to make these big, sudden changes, you end up psyching yourself out because it's too much lifting, too much heavy lifting, and you become discouraged. In order to succeed at whatever you're trying to do, you have to piece it together, right? Success, you have to piece success together. You look at any successful person, right? And you ask them about their journey, towards getting where they're at, and they're going to tell you. They have to piece it together, right? You have to take small incremental steps, right, in order to achieve your goals. And this is where I think people become confused, and this is where I think people psych themselves out and become discouraged. People try to do too much all at once, right? And anything you're trying to do, any type of change you're trying to make, you have to do it incrementally. You have to take small steps towards it. You have to piece together like a puzzle, right? And that's the only way you're going to succeed at accomplishing anything. Example, if you're not satisfied with the time you wake up in the morning, right? And you figure that you need more time in the day, even if it's an extra hour or two in order to get things done. What you're going to need to do is, instead of, let's say you wake up 8 o'clock, instead of just going from, okay, I wake up 8, so I'm going to try to wake up 6 o'clock. Instead of going from 8 to 6, you'll be better off setting your alarm for, let's say, 7:30. So, right, that's an extra 30 minutes, right? You wake up that extra 30 minutes, you get yourself used to it, right? You do that for a few days, then you set it for 7 o'clock. Now that's an hour earlier, right? And you go from there. And if you feel like you need more time, you set it, you go from 7 to 6:30 to 6. Now you wake up 2 extra hours, right? 2 hours earlier than you used to, but you did it incrementally, as opposed to going from, I wake up 8 o'clock, just cold turkey, I'm gonna go from 8 o'clock to 6 o'clock. And then when you try that, you realize that at 6 o'clock, you're way too tired to wake up. You know what I'm saying? And you start struggling with it, and you become discouraged, and you just give up on it altogether. That's what happens in every aspect of life, right? We do things, we try to do too much, it don't work, and we become become discouraged. So get in the mindset of taking small steps, building your puzzle. Losing weight is the same concept. Instead of going from whatever weight you're at, you know what I'm saying, to trying to lose, 50 pounds in a month and all this type of stuff, you know what I'm saying, 50 pounds in 2 weeks, and trying to, accomplish these big things in a small period of time. What you have to do is focus on, figure out what you're trying to do, figure out where you're trying to go, right? And sketch out a plan to get there, and know that it's going to take time, and what has to happen is you're going to have to stick with it. It's more important to focus on the goal than the actual results, believe it or not. Even though this might sound counterintuitive, understand what I'm saying, right? If you keep focusing on the results, what's going to happen is, again, you're going to psych yourself up, because you're going to be waking up every morning and looking at yourself in the mirror, and if you don't see what you expect to see, that's going to start messing with you. You're going to be playing mind games with yourself, and you're going to eventually give up from discouragement. But what has to happen is, you're going to have to set the goal and focus on the journey, right? Focus on what it's going to take to get there, and be consistent, right? This is why diets and stuff fail, why diets don't work, because people get on this journey of losing weight, and they want it to happen fast, so they go trying all these different things, and when it don't work, they give up, right? But you're gonna have to take on a different mindset in order to accomplish your goals, and that mindset is, you're gonna have to take it in steps. You're going to have to be patient, and you're going to have to be consistent. And I think, honestly, patience and consistency are two of the biggest lacking attributes, or biggest lacking disciplines, that people lack today, in today's world. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants things to happen fast. You know what I'm saying? People looking at social media, and they're seeing different things, people doing things, and the missing piece of that puzzle is, you don't see the years and the dedication that people put into their lives to accomplish these things, right? And when people show stuff in videos or in pictures or whatever it is, when people show their accomplishments, they're not intentionally trying to make it look like it was overnight or it was easy. It's just that it'll take too much time for people to go into the details of their journey. So you see the end result, and what people often do is they use the end results as a point of reference, right, for pursuing their goals. You cannot use the end results of someone's success as your point of reference to go after your goals. What you're going to have to do is, you're going to have to use their journey, right? And you may not know their journey, but on that side, it's only important for you to know that it's going to take piecing it together to get to your success. It's going to take dedication, it's going to take hard work, and it's going to take grinding, you know what I'm saying, for X amount of time. And it's not just going to happen overnight. So you're going to have to get that in your head and be all right with it, right? And just keep going, right? So, don't psych yourself out, by thinking that things are going to happen faster than it should, and you thought it would have been this by now, and it's not this. But you have to decide that this is what I want to do. This is what I'm trying to accomplish, and as long as it takes to get there, I just keep going, right? If you need to maybe stop doing that and do something else, life will let you know. Life will let you know if, okay, you need to give up on this now, you know what I'm saying? And life will let you know, but oftentimes people become impatient and give up on things, and so now you jump to something else and you treat it the same way, meaning you take a few steps, it looks hard, you give up on it, you go to the next. You take a few steps, it looks hard, you give up on it, right? This is what you need to understand. Anything you pursue is going to take the same amount of effort. Nothing is going to be less effort. It's going to take the same amount of effort. So if you keep giving up prematurely, right, what's going to happen is you're going to adopt that attitude, and you're going to take that habit into everything you do, into everything you try. So instead of seeing the thing as the issue, you're going to have to look internally, look at yourself and see your attitude as the problem, right? And you're going to have to change your attitude. You're going to have to change in order to accomplish your goals. You're going to have to become more patient. You're going to have to become more consistent, right? And find ways to maneuver through the obstacles and get it done, right? So yeah, this is what I'm saying, man. You have to commit yourself and go after your goals, right? The distractions and all that, you're gonna have to get rid of the distractions, because distractions rob you of the energy needed to pursue your goals. You can't be distracted today and have the energy today to pursue your goals. They can't go together. You know what I'm saying? It's impossible, right? Things that take up your time that isn't actually contributing to what you're trying to get done, you need to start eliminating these things from your life, and focus on the goals, focus on what you're trying to accomplish. Reserve your energy for accomplishing these goals, because it's going to take a lot of energy, right? It's going to take a lot of energy to pursue your goals. So don't disperse your energy on things that isn't actually contributing to your life, that isn't actually benefiting your life. It's crazy how with most things that we're trying to pursue, it's always a time thing. Time is gonna be a greatest asset, right? It's not even gonna be money, because you could get a lot of money, you could lose money, get it back, lose money, get it back. Time, we never get back time. This is why it's important to utilize the time wisely and really place a high premium on your time, right? Time is what it's going to take to accomplish your goals. So again, going back to the advice I gave earlier, if you need to start waking up earlier, wake up earlier, you know what I'm saying? Stop wasting time on things that isn't actually benefiting you, right? Even like social media, you know what I'm saying? Don't just be indiscriminately scrolling through social media for hours and hours when you could be using that time to better your life, right? You could be using that time to pursue things, right? Don't be hanging out with people who, at the end of it, right, you don't have anything to show. You haven't learned anything, right? And in a lot of cases, you end up in situations you don't even want to be in just by being around the wrong people, and it doesn't serve your life. It doesn't benefit you. So all of these things you're going to have to start paying attention to. All of these time wasters, and and you're gonna have to place a high premium on your time, right? And use that time, use your time wisely, pursue your goals. All right, so that's my encouragement to you guys today, man. You gotta be phenomenal. And I mean, I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to myself as well. You know what I'm saying? Everything that I do, I know that I have to be phenomenal, and that's what I'm striving for. So I'm not talking down at you. I'm talking to you, and it's like a boomerang, right? It's coming right back to me, right? But it's just some encouragement that I wanted to give because it's something that I've been thinking about, right? After hearing Eric Thomas talk about going from you can't be good anymore, you can't be great anymore, you have to be phenomenal, right? So, this is my encouragement, man, and I wish you guys the best, whatever field you're in, go after it, become the best, and get to the top. Thank you guys for tuning in. Go ahead and like, subscribe to my channel, right? Hit the notification bell so that you know when I upload videos, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.